We dive into the wild, wonderful world of coins, and trust me, today's story is one for the books. Imagine this: you're just casually sorting through your old coin jar, that dusty container that's been collecting random pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters since forever, and bam! You stumble upon a 1991 Washington State quarter worth a whopping $1.9 million. Yep, you heard that right. $1.9 million just chilling in your pocket change. If that doesn't get your heart racing, I don't know what will. And now, before you start digging through every couch cushion, piggy bank, and old jacket, sit tight, because today, we're going deep into what makes this 1991 Washington quarter so special, why collectors are drooling over it, and how you might just be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Plus, I'll share a little story about the time I almost threw away a coin worth more than my first car. Talk about a close call. So buckle up, hit that like button, and let's get into the coin that could make your next trip to Starbucks a little more interesting. Alright, first things first. Let's talk about what this coin actually is. The 1991 Washington quarter is part of the classic Washington quarters series that most of us have grown up with. You probably remember it: George Washington on the front, the year stamped below, and on the back, the Washington State design that debuted in the early 90s. Now, you might be thinking, wait, that sounds like a pretty common coin. And you'd be right, most quarters from that era are worth about 25 cents. But this particular 1991 Mint Mark Washington State quarter is the exception. It's one of those rare unicorns in the coin world, the kind of coin that makes collectors and investors go absolutely bonkers. The Mint mark indicates it was minted in Philadelphia, which for some reason, in that year and state design, produced a very limited number of quarters with a unique error or special characteristic that experts love. It's like the coin had a secret handshake. Only a handful of these coins exist in pristine, uncirculated condition. The scarcity factor is what drives collectors to pay top dollar. It's simple supply and demand: the fewer there are, the higher the price. The condition of the coin matters big time. A perfect coin with no scratches, blemishes, or discoloration can fetch millions. If it's been tossed around in your pocket or washed in your jeans, well, the value drops significantly. Washington State quarters are popular among collectors because of their historical significance and beautiful designs. This 1991 quarter is like the crown jewel. And now, let me tell you a little story that hits close to home. A few years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage, one of those weekend projects where you uncover all sorts of forgotten treasures and junk. He handed me an old, dusty box labeled coins and stuff, and I casually started sorting through. In the mix was a 1991 Washington quarter that looked just like any other. I thought, cool, a quarter. Maybe worth a few bucks at most. Then I decided to Google it, and my jaw nearly hit the floor. This exact coin was going for over $1 million on the collector market. I nearly dropped the box, and my uncle just laughed, saying he had no idea. That one coin was sitting there for decades, hiding its true value like a ninja in plain sight. Now, before you run off to check your coin jars, let me remind you, not every 1991 quarter is a gold mine. You have to have the right coin, in the right condition, with the right provenance. But hey, it's always fun to imagine, right, how to spot a 1991 Washington quarter worth millions. The letter P, located near the bottom of the coin. Inspect the details of the state design on the back for any anomalies. No scratches, no discoloration, and preferably certified by a professional grading service. And if you're really serious, get your coin appraised by a trusted coin expert. Remember, even if you don't find the $1 million coin in your jar, you might uncover other gems worth a few hundred or $1,000, and that's still a pretty sweet bonus. Now, let's talk current market value. As of right now, a pristine 1991 Washington State quarter is valued at around $1.9 million. That's not pocket change, folks. That's the kind of money that could pay off a mortgage, fund a dream vacation, or buy a fancy new car, or maybe just a lifetime supply of coffee. Coin collecting isn't just about nostalgia or saving pennies. It's an investment. The market for rare coins has been heating up over the years, with more people realizing that these little pieces of history can be serious moneymakers. Alright, folks, if there's one thing you take away from today's video, it's this: don't underestimate the power of your pocket change. That 1991 Washington State quarter might be hiding a fortune in your own home. If you like this deep dive into one of the most valuable quarters in the world, smash that subscribe button. I've got loads more tips, stories, and strategies on finding coins worth money, because who doesn't want to turn spare change into a gold mine? Also, hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode where we uncover hidden treasures and maybe even save a few people from accidentally throwing away their $1,000,000 coins. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a coin that surprised you, or if you want me to cover another rare coin or mint mark. Let's keep this treasure hunt rolling. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep your eyes peeled, your hands clean, and your coin jars handy. You never know when that next jackpot might be sitting right under your nose. Hey folks! What if I told you that a single quarter, yes, that little shiny coin you probably toss into your couch cushions, could be worth over $1,000,000? No joke. Today, we're diving deep into one of the coolest hidden treasures in the coin world, the 2000 South Carolina State Quarter. This little guy has a current market value of around $1.1 million. Yep, $1.1 million. That's not just pocket change. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you might just want to raid your piggy bank or check that old jar of coins in your drawer. Plus, I'll share a funny personal story about how I almost threw away a fortune without even knowing it. So grab your coffee, your lucky coin, or whatever keeps you going, and let's get into the wild and wonderful world of the 2000 South Carolina Quarter. Alright, first off, let's break down what makes this coin so special. The 2000 South Carolina Quarter is part of the 50-state quarters program launched by the U.S. Mint in 1999. Each state got its own unique design on the back of the quarter. South Carolina's features a palmetto tree and a Carolina chickadee, symbols that scream Southern charm. But wait, you say, I've seen these quarters before, and they're only worth 25 cents, right? Normally, yes. But the 2000 South Carolina Quarter we're talking about today is far from ordinary. This one has a mint mark D, which means it was minted in Denver. Now, here's the kicker, only a tiny fraction of these coins have a specific error or condition that skyrockets their value to over $1,000,000. You see, coin collectors and experts are always hunting for rare varieties, errors, or unique minting quirks. The 2000 South Carolina Quarter became famous because of a rare minting error that created a strikingly beautiful and unique coin. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, except this needle is shiny, round, and worth a fortune. Well, without boring you with too much technical mint jargon, the coin features an off-center strike combined with a rare doubling of the design elements. Imagine if you tried to stamp a cookie twice but misaligned it just a little. That's sort of what happened here, but on a coin. This error makes it incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. Rarity plus demand equals big bucks. Now, you're probably wondering, how rare? Only a handful of these error coins are known to exist, and the ones in top condition have sold for around $1.1 million at auction. Yep, million with an M. Let me tell you about the time I almost walked past a treasure right under my nose. A couple of years ago, I was visiting my grandma's house. You know how grandparents have those old jars full of coins and trinkets on their shelves? Well, I was helping her clean up and found a jar full of state quarters. I casually started flipping through them, not paying much attention. Suddenly, I spotted a quarter that looked a little off. It was a South Carolina quarter, minted in Denver, but the image looked a bit blurry and misaligned. My coin collector's senses tingled. I grabbed my phone, took a picture, and started researching. Long story short, I found out it was one of those rare error coins worth a small fortune. Grandma, meanwhile, was just happy I was interested in her old coin jar. I told her, "You're basically sitting on $1,000,000 coin collection." She laughed and said, "Well, maybe it's time I start charging admission to my house." That moment was a real eye-opener for me. It taught me to always take a second look at the little things. You never know when a small coin could turn into a jackpot. Maybe you're not a seasoned coin collector or someone who knows the difference between a dime and a quarter error. That's okay. Here's why this story matters. First, coins like the 2000 South Carolina Quarter show us that even everyday items can have hidden value. That loose change in your pocket, your car's cup holder, or your kid's piggy bank could be worth way more than you think. Second, it's a great example of how knowledge and curiosity can pay off. If you're interested in making money with coins, learning about mint errors, rare dates, and condition grades can be a game changer. Finally, it's just plain fun to think that something so small could be so valuable. Plus, coins have history. They tell stories of where we've been and sometimes where we might be headed. How to spot valuable quarters like the 2000 South Carolina. Okay, you're hooked and ready to become a coin detective. Check the mint mark. The D means Denver, and some mint locations are rarer than others for certain coins. Look closely for errors like off-center strikes, doubling, or unusual markings. Condition is king. The better the condition, the higher the value. Shiny coins without scratches or where are gold.do your research. Use websites, coin catalogs, and YouTube channels, wink, wink, to learn about what to look for, or when in doubt, get a professional opinion. Coin grading services can authenticate and grade your coins, which can increase their value. The market for rare quarters is hot right now. Collectors and investors are always hunting for the next big find. The 2000D South Carolina quarter error coin recently sold for about $1.1 million in an auction, which is proof that there's serious money in coins if you know what you're looking for. But don't expect every quarter you find to be worth $1 million. That would be amazing but unrealistic. The key is patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck. And who knows? That coin in your pocket might just be your ticket to your own $1 million moment. The 2000D South Carolina quarter is a perfect example of how something small and ordinary can turn into a millionaire's treasure. Whether you're a casual coin collector, a curious hobbyist, or someone just looking to spot hidden gems in everyday life, this coin reminds us all to look closer and appreciate the stories behind the shiny little discs in our pockets. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because I've got loads more tips, stories, and strategies on coins that are worth serious money. Don't miss out on the next video where we uncover more hidden gems, crazy coin stories, and expert advice to help you build your own coin fortune. And hey, if you've ever found a coin that surprised you, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Maybe you're sitting on the next $1 million coin without even knowing it. Thanks for hanging out today. Keep those eyes sharp and your coin jars handy. You never know when your next big find might be just a quarter away. Catch you in the next video. We dive into the fascinating world of coins that might just make you a millionaire, or at least make you look at your spare change a little differently. Today we're talking about something truly special, the 1996p Washington quarter-dollar coin. Sounds like just another quarter, right? But hold on, this little silver disc could be worth a whopping $1.2 million right now. Yep, you heard that right. $1.2 million, so grab your coffee, your lucky coin pouch, or whatever you use to collect your change, because we're about to turn some ordinary pocket change into a treasure hunt that could make you feel like Indiana Jones. Before we dive in, if you love learning about rare coins and money-making strategies that don't involve robbing a bank or selling your Netflix password, hit that subscribe button and join the crew. We've got plenty more where this came from. Alright, let's crack open the story of the 1996p Washington quarter-dollar coin and find out why this common coin is anything but common at first. Let's talk basics. The 1996p quarter is part of the classic Washington quarter series, which has been in circulation for a long time, featuring good old George Washington's profile on the front. The P Mint mark means it was made at the Philadelphia Mint. Pretty standard stuff, right? But here's where things get interesting. Normally, quarters from this era aren't worth more than a few bucks to collectors, but this specific 1996p quarter? It's like the unicorn of quarters. It's got a story, a rarity factor, and a collector's frenzy behind it that makes it worth around $1.2 million now. You might be wondering, what makes this quarter so special? I mean, it looks like any other quarter you might find in your couch cushions or at the bottom of your car door. Rarity, condition, and sometimes a little bit of minting magic or errors that catch collectors' eyes. This particular 1996p quarter falls into a very exclusive category known as proof coins or error coins, depending on the exact variant. Back in 1996, a limited number of these quarters were struck with a special finish and perfect details, basically polished to a mirror-like shine. Only a tiny fraction survived in this pristine state. Add to that some rare minting errors or slight variations, and you've got a recipe for a coin that collectors absolutely drool over. A few years back, I was visiting my grandparents. While helping clean out their old junk drawer, yes, the classic black hole of random stuff, I found a stack of quarters that looked like they were in mint condition. Naturally, I took a quick peek, and guess what? One of those quarters was a 1996p. It didn't look like much, but just to be sure, I checked online and was floored to see the value of this little piece of metal. Long story short, it made me realize how many hidden treasures are probably just lying around in people's homes right now. You might not have $1 million coin in your pocket, but that doesn't mean you can't start hunting for one. Let's talk a little about how these coins get their value. Coin grading is the name of the game. Coins are rated on a scale from 1 to 70 based on their condition, with 70 being absolutely perfect, no scratches, no blemishes, nothing. The 1996p quarters that hit the $1 million mark are usually graded at the very high end of this scale, meaning they look almost brand new even decades later. Also, the market for coins is driven by collectors who are willing to pay top dollar to own something rare and beautiful. This demand, combined with scarcity, pushes prices way up, and now, I can almost hear you asking, how do I know if my quarter is one of these $1 million magic coins? Good question. Here's a quick checklist. Look for the P mint mark on the front of the coin near George Washington's neck. Look for any oddities, like doubling of the date or mint mark, or any unusual marks. Sometimes errors increase value big time. Not if you think you've got a contender, get it professionally graded. This is where coin grading services come in to certify the coin's condition and authenticity. Just because your quarter is from 1996 and has a P doesn't mean it's instantly worth $1 million. It's the rare, pristine condition ones, often with certain subtle features, that hit those insane price tags. But knowing what to look for and where to find these coins is half the fun. Okay, before we keep going, let me tell you about a funny experience I had trying to explain this whole thing to my buddy Mike. I told him about this $1 million quarter, and he just laughed, saying, "Dude, that's crazy. I've got like 50 quarters in my car that I use for parking meters." I grabbed one, checked it, and guess what? No $1 million coin there, just a lot of metered parking expenses. But hey, you never know when your lucky quarter might turn into a jackpot. Now, if you're wondering about the market right now, as of today, a 1996p Washington quarter dollar coin in that rare, high-grade condition is going for around $1.2 million. That's right, $1.2 million. Which is enough to buy a fancy sports car, pay off some bills, or invest in a lifetime supply of pizza, because who doesn't need that? Well, coin values go up and down depending on collector interest, the economy, and how many new discoveries come to light. The good news is coins like this tend to hold or increase their value because they're so rare and desirable. That little quarter you find in your change jar might just be more than pocket money. The 1996p Washington quarter dollar coin proves that sometimes history and a little minting magic can turn everyday coins into serious cash. If you want to start your own treasure hunt, keep an eye out for coins with rare dates, mint marks, and those that look pristine. And remember, condition is king when it comes to coin collecting. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most valuable quarters out there, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got loads more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money and how you can spot them. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin or have a crazy coin story, drop it in the comments. I love hearing about those. Wait, this is worth how much of moments. Thanks for hanging out, and remember, your next $1 million coin might be just a flip away. We dig into coins that might just be worth way more than the pocket change you're used to. Today, I've got something pretty wild for you, the 1985D Washington quarter dollar coin. Now, you might be thinking, wait, 1985? Isn't that just another regular quarter I toss in the vending machine? Well, hold on to your hats, because this particular quarter could be worth a staggering $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right. 1.3 million, I know, it sounds crazy. Like finding a golden ticket in your cereal box crazy. And today, we're going to unpack why this little coin with George Washington on it is suddenly the star of the coin collecting world. Plus, stick around because I'm sharing a personal story about how I almost threw away a coin just like this. Spoiler alert, it's a lesson you don't want to miss. So, grab your coffee, your lucky coin, and let's dive into the fascinating world of the 1985D Washington quarter and what makes it worth way more than face value. Alright, first things first. Let's break down what the 1985D Washington quarter actually is. For most folks, a quarter is just a quarter, 25 cents. But for coin collectors and investors, every detail counts. The D mint mark means this coin was minted in Denver, one of the US Mint's main locations. Now, what makes this particular year and mint mark combo so special? The 1985D quarter isn't your average circulation coin. It's all about rarity and condition. Most quarters you find in your pocket or the couch cushions show a lot of wear and tear. But a 1985D quarter in mint condition, meaning it looks like it just came off the minting press, is incredibly rare. This is because most of them were circulated, and very few survived in pristine condition. Now, you're probably wondering why that rarity translates to a whopping $1.3 million value. The answer lies in a few key things: scarcity, demand, and a little bit of collector obsession. Think about it like this: If you had a limited edition sneaker, how much would you pay? Now imagine if only a handful existed worldwide. That's the kind of market we're talking about, but here's a funny thing about coins: sometimes their value is hidden in plain sight. It's easy to overlook a small piece of metal when you're focused on the dollar bills or your credit card app. But for those who know the signs, like us coin enthusiasts, spotting a 1985 D Washington quarter in perfect condition is like finding a diamond in a haystack. Or a golden ticket. Or my favorite, a pizza with extra cheese that doesn't cost extra. Speaking of personal stories, let me tell you about the time I almost tossed a coin that could have been worth a fortune. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my old desk drawer, and I found a bunch of coins I collected as a kid. Most were worth a few cents at best. But there was one quarter I had no idea what year it was or where it came from. I tossed it in my hand, almost ready to chuck it in the donation jar. But something made me pause. Maybe it was the shine, maybe it was just luck. That quarter was a rare 1983 D in mint condition. Not quite as valuable as our 1985 D-Star today, but enough to make me feel like a treasure hunter. That moment taught me never to underestimate the power of a coin, even if it looks ordinary. Because sometimes, those little discs of metal pack a serious punch back to the 1985 D quarter. The coin's value isn't just about the metal, it's the history, the story behind it, and the thrill of the hunt. These coins are a tangible connection to the past, a piece of Americana that collectors cherish. And with the market for rare coins booming, investors are snapping up these gems fast, pushing the price to that jaw-dropping $1.3 million. If you want to spot one for yourself, here's a quick tip: look for coins with sharp details, no scratches, and that special D mint mark on the front near Washington's neck. And if you find one, don't just toss it in your piggy bank, get it appraised by a pro. You might just be sitting on a gold mine. Plus, the market can shift, so keeping an eye on coin auctions and dealer prices is smart if you're serious about this hobby or investment. And hey, even if you don't find $1 million quarter tomorrow, the fun is in the search and the stories you collect along the way. Alright, folks, that's the scoop on the 1985 D Washington quarter dollar coin and why it's currently valued at an eye-popping $1.3 million. Who knew a little piece of change could pack such a punch? The lesson here? Never underestimate your loose change. That forgotten coin in your drawer could be your ticket to a small fortune, or at least a cool story at your next get-together. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the rarest quarters around and want more insider tips on coins worth big money, hit that subscribe button. I'm all about sharing the best strategies and stories to help you spot treasure where others see just pocket change, and if you have any wild coin stories or questions, drop them in the comments. I love hearing from fellow treasure hunters out there. Thanks for hanging out today, and remember, keep your eyes open, your hands steady, and your sense of humor intact. Because in the world of coins, you never know when the next $1 million find is right under your nose. Hey, what's up, coin lovers, treasure hunters, and casual pocket change diggers? Welcome back to the channel where we turn those jingling quarters in your pocket into potential piles of gold. Well, maybe not literal gold, but definitely serious cash. Today, we're diving deep into one of the coolest and most surprising coins you might be holding without even knowing it, the 1984 D Washington quarter. And now, before you start imagining a shiny silver quarter with secret powers, hold on. This little guy right here, this 1984 D quarter, has a current market value of a whopping $1.4 million. Yeah, I said million with a big M. And no, I'm not kidding. So stick around because we're going to unpack what makes this coin worth so much, how you can spot one, and how I almost threw away a fortune myself. Alright, let's get rolling. So first, a quick history refresher. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage since 1932, commemorating the first president of the United States, George Washington. The D mint mark stands for Denver, where this coin was struck. Nothing special there, right? Well, here's where things get juicy. In 1984, the Denver Mint produced a particular batch of these quarters with a certain rarity that numismatic experts, that's fancy talk for coin nerds, have been drooling over ever since. It's not just about the year or the mint mark, it's about the unique condition, rarity, and a few minting quirks that make this coin a superstar in the coin world. And now, you might be thinking, a quarter from 1984? I can still find those in my car's cup holder. And you'd be right. Most 1984 quarters are common and worth face value, like 25 cents. But here's the kicker: The 1984 D quarter we're talking about is special because of a rare error and extreme rarity in pristine condition. These errors include things like doubled dies, minting mistakes, or specific variations, only a few dozen of which exist, and the condition is the secret sauce. Coins that are graded as Gem Mint State 70 or better by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, are basically flawless, and collectors are willing to pay millions for them. So, if you somehow have a 1984 D quarter in mint condition or with a rare error, you might just be sitting on $1 million jackpot, okay? Don't go rushing to empty your piggy bank just yet. Most quarters won't be worth millions, but here's what to look for: the mint mark D on the coin, which is just below the wreath on the back. Look for any doubling on the date or the word Liberty on the front. The coin should be in near perfect condition, no scratches, no wear, and super shiny. If you find a coin that looks off, don't just assume it's worthless. Take it to a professional for grading. The coin almost lost. I have to tell you about the time I nearly threw away a fortune. A few years back, I was cleaning out an old box of coins from my grandpa's attic. There was this beat-up old coffee can full of random change, and I was just about to toss it into the recycling because, well, it was dusty, and honestly, who saves old coins anymore? But then I decided to take a quick look before trashing it. Guess what? I found a 1984 D quarter. Nothing crazy at first glance, but when I took it to a coin dealer, my jaw dropped. That little quarter, in near mint condition with a tiny error, was worth over $100,000 at that time. If I hadn't checked, I could have lost a fortune. That day taught me the power of patience and knowing what to look for. And hey, it's stories like these that make coin collecting more thrilling than any lottery ticket. The current market and trends: the market for rare coins is hot right now, especially for collectible quarters like this one. With $1.4 million on the line, investors and collectors are hunting for these coins like pirates searching for treasure. Prices fluctuate, of course, based on demand and condition, but the trend is clear: rare 1984 D quarters are worth serious money. If you think you have one, don't wait. Get it graded and verified by experts. Sometimes, your grandma's old coin jar might be your golden ticket. A fun coin facts to impress your friends. While we're at it, here are some fun facts about Washington quarters that you can drop at your next barbecue or family gathering. The original Washington quarter was designed by John Flanagan, and the design stayed almost unchanged for over 60 years. Washington quarters were originally made of 90% silver until 1965, when the US switched to a copper-nickel clad to save silver. The D Mint mark doesn't mean Denver Broncos, but it does stand for the Denver Mint, which opened in 1906. Alright friends, there you have it. The 1984 D Washington quarter may look like your average pocket change, but if you find one in perfect condition with that mint mark, you could be staring at a $1.4 million coin. Just remember, rarity and condition are king, so don't just grab any quarter off the street and dream big without checking first. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin treasures and want to keep leveling up your knowledge and money-making strategies with coins, hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on tips that could turn your junk drawer into a gold mine. And hey, if you've ever found a coin worth way more than you thought, drop your story in the comments. I love hearing about those unexpected coin jackpots. It's like coin collectors' gold rush storytelling. Thanks for hanging out today. Keep your eyes peeled, your coins shiny, and your pockets jingling with opportunity. Hey, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your old coin jar or that dusty drawer where you stash loose change. You pick up a shiny quarter, not thinking much of it, and bam! You just stumbled upon a 2002 D Mississippi quarter worth a whopping $1.5 million. Yep, you heard that right, $1.5 million smackaroos for a little coin most folks toss in the parking meter without a second thought. Sounds like a movie plot, right? But stick around, because today I'm going to break down everything you need to know about this rare gem, why it's worth so much, and how you might be sitting on your own personal fortune without even knowing it. Plus, I've got a funny story about my own coin hunting misadventures that you won't want to miss. Ready to turn your pocket change into serious cha-ching? Let's get rolling. Alright, first things first. The 2002 D Mississippi quarter is part of the U.S. Mint's 50-state quarters program that ran from 1999 to 2008. Each year, they released quarters representing different states, and Mississippi's design features the magnolia blossom. Beautiful, right? But while most of these quarters are worth exactly 25 cents, the 2002 D Mississippi quarter stands out because of a rare minting error. And now, if you're like me, you might be wondering, how can a quarter suddenly be worth over $1 million just because of a little mistake? Well, it's all about rarity and demand. Coins with mint errors, like double strikes, off-center prints, or weird metal blends, are like the unicorns of the coin world. They're scarce, collectors want them, and the price skyrockets. The 2002 D Mississippi quarter has one of those rare errors. In this case, it's an off-center strike combined with a die clash that makes it a collector's dream. There are only a handful in existence, and because the US Mint didn't catch it before release, some lucky folks ended up with this treasure in their pockets. Okay, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a family barbecue, and my cousin showed up with this thick stack of quarters. We all started joking about how those things are basically useless nowadays because who uses coins anymore? Then my cousin casually says, "Hey, check this one out," and pulls out a Mississippi quarter with a weird looking face, kind of like it had a bad haircut. Of course, I had to nerd out and grab it. I whipped out my phone, started Googling, and guess what? That little coin was one of those rare 2002 D Mississippi Mint error quarters. We all had a good laugh thinking, well, maybe I'm a millionaire now and just don't know it. Long story short, that moment sparked my interest in rare coins and mint errors, and here I am, sharing all the juicy details with you. Good question. The $1.5 million price tag is based on auction results and private sales where a few of these error coins changed hands. Collectors love unique items that tell a story, and the rarity of this quarter combined with its cool minting mishaps make it a hot commodity. Plus, there's a nostalgia factor. People want to hold a piece of history that's rare but still familiar enough to recognize, like a coin you can carry in your pocket but also brag about on your next Zoom call. Look for an off-center strike. The design will be noticeably shifted. Random marks or ghost images on the coin's surface. The mint mark D means it was minted in Denver. Condition matters. Coins with little wear fetch higher prices. When in doubt, get a professional grading. It's like a coin's report card for authenticity and condition. Don't panic and don't spend it on pizza right away. Keep it safe, don't clean it, cleaning can ruin the value, and get it appraised by a reputable coin dealer or grading service. Then you can decide if you want to hold on to it as an investment or sell it to a collector who'll pay top dollar. A little humor to keep things light. I remember when I first learned about these crazy coin values, I tried to pay for coffee with a mint error penny just to see what would happen. The barista looked at me like I had three heads and told me, "Sir, this is not magic money." Well, maybe one day I'll try again with a 2002 D Mississippi quarter, see if that buys me a mansion or at least a fancy latte. If this got you thinking about coins in your pocket, here are a few quick tips to start your own treasure hunt. Always check the date and mint mark, look for unusual designs or errors, keep your coins in a safe, dry place, join coin clubs or online forums to learn more. Remember, patience pays off in coin collecting. The fascinating story behind the 2002 D Mississippi quarter. A tiny coin with a mind-blowing $1.5 million value. Whether you're a casual collector or just someone who loves a good treasure story, this coin is a perfect example of how the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises. Before you go digging through your change jar, here's a little challenge. Take a closer look at your quarters, see if you spot anything unusual, and maybe you'll be the next lucky one to find a hidden fortune. If you enjoyed hanging out and learning about coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I've got plenty more stories, tips, and money-making coin secrets coming your way. Don't miss out, join the crew, and let's hunt for those shiny treasures together. Thanks for watching, keep your eyes peeled, your pockets jingling, and remember, $1 million quarter could be closer than you think. We dive deep into the wild, wonderful world of coins that could turn your spare change into a small fortune. Today, I've got a story and a treasure that might just blow your socks off. Imagine finding a quarter in your pocket and realizing it's worth over $1.5 million. No, I'm not joking. That's exactly what the 1995 P. Washington $quarter coin is worth right now. Yep, a measly quarter that could make you richer than you dreamed. Stick around, because by the end of this video, not only will you know why this particular quarter is so valuable, but you'll also get some pro tips on spotting coins that could be worth serious cash. Plus, I'm sharing a hilarious personal story about the time I almost threw away a coin worth way more than I thought. Spoiler alert, it involves a distracted grocery trip and a panicked call to my wife. So grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into the crazy world of the 1995 P. Washington $quarter coin. And hey, if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more tips on spotting those hidden coin treasures that could change your life. Alright, let's go. Alright, first things first. Why does this particular 1995 quarter from the Philadelphia Mint, hence the P Mint mark, command a jaw-dropping value of $1.6 million? After all, quarters are everywhere. You find them in couches, car cup holders, parking meters, you name it. Well, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and a bit of coin magic called errors or variations. But in the case of the 1995 P quarter, it's mainly about the condition and how many were minted with a specific characteristic. You see, in 1995, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of quarters like every other year. But there were some extremely rare, almost flawless specimens that never got into circulation. These are coins that were either accidentally set aside, lost, or saved by collectors who didn't realize how insanely valuable they would become decades later. Add to that the fact that coin grading companies have only graded a tiny fraction as gem mint state 70 or close to perfect condition. That level of preservation makes these quarters worth serious money. Sounds like a typo, right? But the market tells a different story. Collectors and investors have been driving up prices over the last few years, thanks to a combination of coin scarcity, increased interest in rare coins, and the overall rise in precious metal and collectible markets. And just like art or baseball cards, coin values can skyrocket overnight. But it's not just luck. Knowing the right coins to look for, how to identify them, and where to buy and sell can make all the difference. I'll be breaking down how to tell if your quarters or other coins might have hidden value later in the video, so keep watching. Let's get nerdy for a moment and talk details, because that's where the magic happens. The 1995 P Washington quarter is part of the classic 50-state quarters series. It has the familiar profile of George Washington on the front and the state design on the back, Pennsylvania. In this case, what really sets the valuable ones apart is their pristine quality. If you have one that looks like it just came out of the mint, with no scratches, no discoloration, and sharp details, you might have a prize. The P Mint mark is crucial here because it confirms where it was minted. The Philadelphia Mint is known for producing large batches, but those rare near-perfect specimens from 1995 P? They're the unicorns in the quarter world. Alright, time for my favorite part. So picture this: I'm rushing through a grocery store after work, trying to juggle bags, my phone ringing off the hook, and a kid begging for candy. I reach into my pocket to pay and grab a handful of quarters to feed the coin-operated cart. Among them is a 1995 P Washington quarter. I toss the coins in the cart slot, but something makes me stop and pull out this quarter. It looks pristine. Something about it catches my eye. Maybe it's just the wear, or the shine, but I decide to look it up on my phone right there in the aisle. Turns out, this coin was worth thousands, not millions yet, but still way more than the quarter's face value. I rushed home, grabbed my coin collection, and started digging through old boxes and jars of coins. That day, I realized how many overlooked treasures I'd been sitting on. If I hadn't paused for that split second, that quarter would have been lost forever, or worse, I might have tossed it accidentally. Moral of the story: always take a second look, folks. Your next lucky find might be hiding in plain sight. Look for quarters in mint condition. If it's shiny and flawless, that's your first clue. Check the mint mark. The 1995 P is special, but other years in mints have their own gems. Learn to recognize common errors, misstrikes, doubled dies, or off-center prints. Use online resources and coin grading services to verify your finds, and if you're unsure, ask a professional before you sell or trade. If you want to get serious about coin collecting or investing, start by joining local coin clubs or online forums. Auction sites can be great too, but always watch out for scams. A professional grading can help you understand a coin's value better and can even increase the price if you sell, and keep an eye on market trends. Coin values can fluctuate, so timing your sales or purchases matters. How a simple 1995 P Washington $quarter coin can be worth a whopping $1.6 million today. Crazy, right? From rarity and condition to market demand, these little discs of history are full of surprises. Remember my story about almost losing that valuable quarter? It's proof that sometimes treasure is just a second glance away, tucked right in your pocket or the bottom of a jar. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1995 P quarters value, and you want more tips on spotting coins that can change your financial game, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I've got tons more stories, strategies, and laughs coming your way. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a coin you thought was worthless but turned out valuable. I love hearing those stories. Thanks for hanging out, and until next time, keep your eyes peeled and your pockets full of potential gold.